know that over 400 years ago, more than 100 men, women, and children vanished from an island off the coast of North Carolina, leaving behind only a single, cryptic word carved into a wooden post? To this day, no one knows what really happened to the lost colony of Roanoke. Was it tragedy, betrayal, or something even stranger? Tonight, we journey into one of history's greatest unsolved mysteries. Let's set the stage. The year is 1587. England is a rising power, hungry for new lands and new riches. Across the Atlantic, the New World is a place of wild promise and untold danger. Queen Elizabeth I dreams of an English empire to rival Spain's, and the man she trusts to make it happen is Sir Walter Raleigh. Raleigh, a court favorite and adventurer, is granted a royal charter to establish a permanent English settlement in North America. The chosen site? Roanoke Island, a narrow strip of land nestled between the Atlantic Ocean and the mainland, in what is now North Carolina's Outer Banks. The first attempts to settle Roanoke had already failed. In 1585, a group of soldiers and scientists arrived, but after a year of hardship and conflict with local tribes, they abandoned the island. But Raleigh is undeterred. In 1587, he sends a new group, this time, families, not just soldiers. Over 115 men, women, and children, led by Governor John White, set sail for a new life. Imagine the hope and fear in their hearts. They are leaving everything behind, crossing a vast, unknown ocean, to build a future from scratch. The world they arrive in is beautiful, but wild and unforgiving. Dense forests, shifting sands, and the ever-present threat of storms. The local Algonquian tribes are wary, and the settlers are isolated, hundreds of miles from any help. But this is not just a story of geography or politics. It's a story of real people, families, children, and dreams. Among them is Eleanor Dare, John White's own daughter, who was pregnant with the first English child to be born in the New World. The colony's troubles begin almost immediately. Supplies are running low. The settlers had expected to find a friendly native population, but relations are tense. The previous English expeditions had left a legacy of mistrust and violence. Within weeks, the settlers realize they are in trouble. Food is scarce. The promised resupply ships are nowhere in sight. The local CROATOAN tribe, once friendly, is now cautious and distant. Other tribes are openly hostile. Governor John White faces an impossible decision. The colonists beg him to return to England and bring back supplies. But White is torn. His own family is here, including his newborn granddaughter, Virginia Dare, the first English child born in America. In August 1587, just weeks after the colony's arrival, White set sail for England, leaving behind his daughter, his granddaughter, and over 100 colonists. He promises to return as soon as possible. But fate has other plans. Let's walk through the timeline, step by step. August 1587. John White departs Roanoke Island, leaving behind 115 colonists. He expects to return within a few months. But across the ocean, England is on the brink of war. The Spanish Armada is preparing to invade. Every available ship is commandeered for defense. White's pleas for a return voyage are ignored. Months turn into years. 1590, 3 years later. At last, White secures passage back to Roanoke. He lands on the island on August 18, 1590, his granddaughter's third birthday. But the settlement is eerily silent. The houses are dismantled, not destroyed. There are no signs of struggle, no graves, no bodies. The only clue, the word CROATOAN carved into a post, and the letters CRO etched into a nearby tree. White searches desperately for any sign of life. He had instructed the colonists to carve a Maltese cross if they left under duress. There is no cross. No sign of violence. Just emptiness. He tries to sail to CROATOAN Island, home of the friendly tribe, but storms drive his ship away. He is forced to return to England, never to see his family again. And so, the colony is lost. Let's pause for a moment and imagine the human side of this story. Picture Eleanor Dare, holding her infant daughter, Virginia, as the last English ship disappears over the horizon. The fear, the uncertainty, the hope that help will come soon. Think of the colonists, rationing their dwindling supplies, watching the seasons change, waiting for sails on the horizon that never appear. What conversations did they have around their fires at night? Did they argue, despair, or cling to hope? Did they try to reach out to the Croatoan tribe, or did they move inland, searching for safety? And what of John White, returning to an empty settlement, calling out for his family, hearing only the wind in the trees? The guilt, the heartbreak, the endless questions. These were not just names in a history book. They were mothers, fathers, children, people who risked everything for a dream, and vanished without a trace. The disappearance of the Roanoke colonists sent shockwaves through England. The dream of a new world settlement was shaken, but not destroyed. Within 2 decades, a new colony would rise at Jamestown, Virginia, this time, with more planning, more support, and more caution. But the fate of the lost colony became a legend. Over the centuries, countless theories have been proposed. Some believe the colonists were killed by hostile tribes. Others think they tried to sail back to England and were lost at sea. The most popular theory is that they moved to CROATOAN Island, now called Hatteras Island, and were absorbed by the local tribe. Archaeologists have found tantalizing clues, European artifacts on Hatteras Island, reports of Native Americans with gray eyes, and oral histories of white ancestors. But no definitive proof has ever been found. The word Croatoan remains one of history's most haunting clues, a message, a direction, or perhaps a final, desperate hope. In the centuries since, the story of Roanoke has inspired novels, plays, and even horror stories. It is a symbol of mystery, loss, and the enduring human spirit. So, what can we learn from the lost colony of Roanoke? First, it reminds us of the courage and the vulnerability of those who seek new beginnings. The colonists risked everything for a chance at a better life, but they were at the mercy of forces beyond their control, nature, politics, and the unknown. Second, Roanoke teaches us about the importance of preparation, communication, and respect for those whose lands we enter. The tragedy may have been avoided with better planning, more support, or a deeper understanding between cultures. But perhaps the greatest lesson is this: some mysteries endure. The Lost Colony of Roanoke is a story without an ending, a reminder that history is not just about answers, but about questions. It invites us to wonder, to search, and to imagine. As you listen to the wind on the Outer Banks, or see the word Croatoan carved in your mind, remember the men, women, and children who vanished into history. Their story is not just about loss, it's about the enduring hope that, somewhere, their voices are still waiting to be heard. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the past. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to subscribe for more mysteries, more history, and more untold tales. Until next time, keep searching, keep questioning, and keep the spirit of discovery alive.